A longtime member files a lawsuit against the Handicap Committee after receiving a one-year withdrawal of his handicap index at the prestigious Valencia Country Club in beautiful Valencia, California. The plaintiff in this lawsuit, which magically showed up on my doorstep, is Scott Kvis. In the complaint, he alleges that the process for determining any discipline was not fair, was arbitrary, and was based on incomplete information and false accusations. A withdrawal of a member's handicap index is for rare instances where the golfer blatantly and or habitually fails to adhere to the responsibilities under the rules of handicapping. The plaintiff claims that nothing in the record of the events on July 9th, 2025, or what was shared with the committee remotely meets this standard. So, what happened on July 9th? On July 9th, 2025, the plaintiff Scott Kvis participated in a President's Cup match at Valencia Country Club against David Lynn. Scott Kvis closed out his opponent on the 17th hole, winning 2-1. Now, after the match, Scott Kvis approached David Lynn, asking to review the scorecard and sign. David Lynn refused to review it, however, he did sign it, and the two of them headed to the clubhouse for a delicious lunch. Later that evening, Mr. Lynn texted Mr. Kvis to inform him of a scoring error on the scorecard. Now, it's a little confusing to figure out how David Lynn knew about this because, well, he didn't review the scorecard originally and he never turned in his own. However, it is assumed that Mr. Lind went to Valencia Country Club's website where they often display tournament scores. Mr. Lind alleges that the plaintiff shot a 38 on the front, not a 40. Now, this scoring error would have zero impact on the match. The plaintiff still would have been victorious on the 17th hole. However, Mr. Lind alleges that Scott Kvis altered the scorecard after he signed in an attempt to manipulate and artificially inflate his handicap index. Mr. Lind recommended to Scott Kvis that he disqualify himself from the President's Cup or else he would cause a big stink at the club. After the plaintiff reviewed the allegations, he would go on to admit to making a scoring error. Now, he adamantly refutes the charges that he altered the scorecard after signing. He claims that the scoring error was made before signing. Now, he did sign an incorrect scorecard, so he approached the tournament director and offered to disqualify himself. Now, the tournament director said, whoa, 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 slow down there, Scotty. It's a match play situation. You still would have won. You don't need to disqualify yourself. But Scott Kvis was going on vacation anyway and was not going to be able to play his next match, so he ended up forfeiting. On August 11th, the plaintiff met with the Handicap Committee, who are now the defendants in this case. Yes, the defendant is not Valencia Country Club. It is the individual members that were on the Handicap Committee. And 4 days later, on August the 15th, the Handicap Committee ruled that the score posted does not match the scorecard and imposed a one-year withdrawal of Scott Kvis's handicap index. In my humble opinion, this seems like an egregious move by the Handicap Committee at Valencia Country Club. You're telling me that this guy is not going to be able to participate in a net golf event for an entire year after he admitted to making a scoring error and even offered to disqualify himself from an event? The only way you can impose such a serious penalty against Mr. Scott Kvis is if he has a long history of violating the rules of handicapping, which I would imagine would have led to a plethora of net golf victories over the years. What's that, Chip? Uh-oh. May 22nd, 2016, where he won the Valencia Country Club Net Championship after shooting rounds of net 69, net 71. June 25th, 2016, overall champions of the Lakeside Golf Club's Hustlers Classic. April 22nd, 2017, where he won his second gaucho with Brian Katz. June 2nd, 2018, Porter Valley's Memba Guest Flight winner and third place overall. April 27, 2019, Lakeside Golf Club's Kelly Cup Flight 7 champion. June 22nd, 2019, back at Lakeside's Hustlers event where he won his flight and took second place overall. September 14th, 2019, playing in the Bob Hope Invitational at Lakeside, took third place overall and they were the low net winners on the final day. July 25th, 2020, Lakeside Golf Club's 4-ball champions. June 12th, 2021, Scott Kvis wins the Treasurer's Flight at Lakeside's Club Championship. June 19th, 2021, and according to Scott's Facebook page, he was the overall net champion of the Classic Memba Guest at Valencia Country Club. September 6th, 2021, the Norman Macbeth Invitational overall net champions at Wilshire Country Club. April 23rd, 2022, Lakeside's Kelly Cup's Flight 7 winner. May 30th, 2022, Scott was unable to repeat at the Wilshire Country Club's Macbeth Invitational, but they did get fourth place out of 100 teams. Not bad. June 25th, 2022, Lakeside's Hustlers, flight champion and third place overall. September 30th, 2022, Lakeside's Vice President's Flight Club Champion. June 4th, 2023, Porter Valley's Memba Guest, flight winner, second place overall because they lost on the third playoff hole. September 1st, 2023, Lakeside Golf Club's Treasurer's Flight Club Champion. September 15th, 2023, at Lakeside's Bob Hope Invitational. No clue how they did in the whole event, but they had a heck of a first day. April 27th, 2024, he won his flight at Lakeside's Kelly Cup. July 5th, 2024, not a victory, just an awful pose after making a hole-in-one. April 5th, 2025, Bull Webster Invitational while wearing that belt. April 26th, 2025, big shocker, he won his flight at Lakeside's Kelly Cup. You know where we're going. We're going straight to the game! Scott Kvis, currently a 10.4 handicap index. As we can see, his handicap index is no longer in withdrawal status, which makes me think there may have been some type of settlement. I surely hope somebody puts something in the comments or slides into my DMs. As we jump into the scores, we see that a competition score was posted on Scott Kvis's record today as I was recording. He's allowed to play the game of net golf, the backbone of the entire golf industry, and I surely hope that that 14.3 differential did not result in a victory for you, or else the members at these places are gonna go bonkers. But look, I'm not here to make any allegations. I'm simply here to just review the facts on this case. If you or your prestigious private golfing club is ever involved in a legal dispute that has to do with handicap indexes, handicap committees, or anything else to do with the game of net golf, you need to call me, Yip Strickler, the biggest independent journalist investigating handicaps and tournaments at prestigious private golfing clubs, to be your expert witness.